up, y'all? What's goody, what's goody, what's goody, what's goody, what's goody, what's goody, what's goody? It's your girl Zeze back with another motherfucking video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, turn on my notifications bell, get us join the thumbs up. Ooh, shit. Whew. My bad, y'all, but it's too early for that. Shut this motherfucker, all that shit, okay? Anyways, today's video is going to be about the mental health of trans children, okay? I really wanted to get into this because if y'all didn't know already, like, if you didn't see my last two videos, if you don't follow me on Twitter, plug, follow me on Twitter, or if you don't follow me on Instagram, plug again, follow me on Instagram, then you don't know that I recently went viral on Twitter again, and I got dragged again by the LGBT community, again, specifically the T's, again. So, yeah, that happened a couple days ago. And it's because I made a quick video about really how Dwayne Wade reacted to his son telling him he wants to be a girl. And basically my main point was, if your children come to you saying that they want to be a girl, or they're telling you that they don't feel like they're in the right body, whatever the case may be, your first instinct shouldn't be to just accept everything they say or just go along with it. Oh yeah, sweetie, oh, you feel like a girl? Oh yeah, okay, you're a girl. That shouldn't be your first instinct. Your first instinct should be to question their intentions, question their reasoning behind that. What led up to them wanting to make this decision, and allow them time to question themselves, get them outside help, bring them to professional help if need be, to figure out what exactly is going on with this child. And the overwhelming amount of backlash I got for that shit, nigga, it was kind of scary. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, damn, I'm a little concerned for the next generation if these motherfuckers is gonna be the people raising them. Like, this is kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. So, you know, I feel like this video was very, very much needed, because I feel like that a lot of people don't know a lot of shit. There's a lot of information out there that people just don't, you know, we got Google. People just don't know. You know, a lot of people are just very ignorant to the information that's out there about information pertaining to trans kids' health, and why it is very important for you to know about this shit when you're raising your children. You know what I'm saying? So that way, if they do pick up on some of the signs of gender dysphoria, or things that you may think is gender dysphoria and it is not, you know what I'm saying? It can prevent you from leading them down the wrong path, you know what I'm saying? Or prevent you from allowing them to make serious decisions, life-changing decisions that they might regret later on in life. Okay, so firstly, I think a lot of parents make the mistake of feeding into some behaviors children have early on, that may seem like they have they might have gender dysphoria, or they might be gender non-conforming. I think a lot of parents pick up on these little traits, and they kind of feed into them too early, you know? You gotta think about it. A lot of kids at a young age, you know, we all go through phases. A lot of kids go through like phases, you know, like, you know, a lot of girls go through the tomboy phase. A lot of girls want to, you know what I'm saying, they go through the phase where they dress a little more masculine, or they wear baggy clothes, or they're just not as feminine, you know, they're not into more feminine things at the moment, you know, and then that's something they usually grow out of. Now, that's a big point I want to make, because literally majority of children that experience gender dysphoria will grow out of it. Hear me. They will grow out of that shit. Majority, most of the times, they will grow out of that shit. By the time they hit puberty and after puberty, they will have grown through the shit. Even in the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, even in their standards of guidelines for transgender health, they state that there's been follow-up studies for transgender kids where only about 6 to 23% of boys persisted through puberty and still wanted to be transgender after puberty. And then for girls, it was only 12 to 27%. So these are very low numbers. Like I said again, most of these kids will grow out of this. It's usually just a phase they're going through, especially if this is happening before puberty. So this is what I mean. A lot of parents, even though they're trying to do the best thing for their child, they're trying to look out for them and trying to make sure they're the happiest they can be. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But when you feed into that early on, if you feed into your child, your little boy wanted to play with dresses, wanted to play with Barbie dolls, wanted to put on makeup and things like that, with you feeding into that blindly without taking a step back and looking at what's going on around him, what's maybe going on inside of him, you're making the wrong decision right there. You know what I'm saying? You're already taking a step inside the wrong direction, because you're not stepping back first to analyze what's really going on with your child. For example, you know, if you have a little boy, if you know you only have one boy, he has a bunch of sisters. the father may not be in the household. If that little boy starts to play with dolls, start to play with makeup, start to play with dresses and things like that, and he doesn't want to play with his boy toys, maybe you shouldn't just say, oh, well, maybe he's gay. Oh, well, maybe he wants to be a girl. Maybe you should say, oh, well, maybe I don't have him around enough male influences. Maybe he's picking up the habits of what he's picking up the habits and some of the behaviors of his sisters because he thinks that's what he's supposed to be doing because that is his only example. He doesn't have a strong male example to show him what boys are doing, what the differences in gender roles are, what he's been supposed to be doing versus what they're doing, you know? So just even like little things like that, you have to take into consideration before you just jumping in the pool and say, oh, my child has gender dysphoria, you know? You got to look at things like that. Not only that, you also need to pay attention to any psychological issues that that the child might have outside of gender dysphoria that may be linked to it or could be causing his gender dysphoria. And even with doing that, because with this part, you're probably going to have to go seek professional help. You really have to be careful who you taking your children to go see, because with me doing the research for this video and me learning so much about transgender kids and shit like that, because of everything that's going on these last couple days, I've watched a few documentaries about kids detransitioning, or kids detransitioning and kids transitioning. And one of the common themes I see is that doctors will purposely ignore some symptoms of children just to feed them the gender dysphoria, just to get them to go down the right of transgenderism and gender dysphoria. Well, you go crazy. Like, don't get, you know what I'm saying? Let's not get confused here. We are dealing with America. This is a corporate-based fucking country, okay? This is a capitalistic-ass fucking country, okay? So whatever they can capitalize off of, they will, including your child's mental health. I mean, that's just basic, logical, capitalistic thinking. You know what I'm saying? Why would I feed you the cure when I can give you the treatment throughout your whole life and keep you in my pocket? You know what I'm saying? Like, my nigga, just think about it. A lot of these doctors, a lot of these therapists will purposely ignore other symptoms your child might have just to convince you and them that they have gender dysphoria or they're transgender. For example, a matter of fact, I named two. One of them was an adult and one of them was a child. The child went to therapy and was being assessed to see if they had gender dysphoria. Now, the doctor diagnosed this child with gender dysphoria at the time, even though he may not have had it. He diagnosed him with gender dysphoria, ignoring the fact that this little boy already had anxiety issues, already had, I think he was bulimic, if I'm not mistaken, and he had other self-hating issues. He had other issues, psychological issues he had going on that they ignored and only focused on him being transgender. They was like, oh, you want to be a girl? Okay. You want to be a girl? Okay, you are a girl. Okay, you are. And just really tried to keep convincing him that he's a girl. And so him being ignorant to the fact of how the rest of the things going on with him correlates to his dysphoria, go along with it. You know what I'm saying? He was starting to he took puberty blockers. He started to get on hormones, and next thing you know, he was a girl. He started growing breasts. His hair started growing long. He started getting softer features. And then, what do you know? When he turns, I think he was, how old was he inside that video? I think he was like 17 or 15, one of the two. He gets to a certain age, and he realizes, you know what? I don't want to be a girl no more. I want to be a boy. Now, he's a 17-year-old boy who wants to look like a boy again, but is stuck with breasts and feminine features. And now he has to find a way to try to reverse it. His mom is trying to take him all the way to like South Korea to get a surgery done on his breast because it's so unheard of doing a surgery like that on a child so young. You know what I'm saying? It's not considered ethical in the country there. I think they was in like a UK or something like that, inside London or something. But, you know, like now he has to go through all this just to revert back to where he was before, when had that first therapist he was with before had told him then and told his parents then, like, look, he may have gender dysphoria, but he also has this, and this, and that. So y'all should probably focus on that before you just, you know, start feeding into the gender dysphoria. Had he known that before, he might not be a 17-year-old boy sitting around, walking around looking like a fucking girl now. You know what I'm saying? So that is going to affect him for the rest of his life. Another dude, this man went his whole life with, you know what I'm saying, psychological issues. He got married, and within his marriage, he would cross-dress. His wife didn't know nothing about it. He would just do it sometimes. He would dress like a woman, and his wife wouldn't know nothing about it. So his wife died. He became a widow. When his wife died, he finally decided, you know what? I think I want to be a full-time woman now. So he goes to a therapist. The first therapist tells him, you know what? You should be a woman for 30 days and see how you feel. He becomes a woman, or he dresses like a woman, you know what I'm saying? He becomes a woman for 30 days, goes back, you know, he's like, you know what? I'm fucking with it. I'm trying to be a woman for real. I think I really want to be a woman. Goes to another psychiatrist. The next psychiatrist didn't even write down the psychological issues the last therapist had noted for him. Literally ignored. Like, and he says this in the interview. You can watch it. This wasn't a documentary I was watching. This was an interview I was watching. And he says this in an interview. He said he literally ignored all of the psychological issues I had that my last therapist had, because I watched him do it. He wrote it on paper. He literally ignored that shit and just told me that I was a woman. He just kept telling me I was a woman and that I needed to go through get surgery and that I just needed to, live my life as a woman if that's what I really wanted to be. No one ever stopped him and told him, look, you should probably look into your alcoholism. That might have something to do with your dysphoria. You should probably look into your anxiety and your depression. You should probably look into those issues as well before just diving into becoming a woman. You see what I'm saying? And then the same thing happened to this poor man. He got a damn surgery, went on hormones, all this other shit, lived his life as a full-blown fucking woman for 2 years. Like, that ass had a surgery and all of that. And then after the 2 years, he realized, I don't want to be a woman anymore. I'm ready to be a man again. I'm a man. I want to be a man. And so he had to go through the same thing that little boy had to go through and detransition. And so that is a major problem with a lot of these kids. This is why I said you shouldn't just jump into it. Don't just go get one professional opinion. Go get multiple professional opinions, because one professional opinion might not do you right. You know what I'm saying? Might not be the person for you. That one professional might be the motherfucker that's trying to feed into the agenda that's going to get these pharma companies a lot more money off your child. I even learned about this, and I think I'm gonna leave a link to this video that I watched, because it's I didn't watch the full length video, but I watched like each of their, or like I think like 3 or 4 of their either 2 or 3 or 3 or 4. I think it was 5 of them. I think I watched 3 of it. Either 2 or 3, I forgot. But it's like five of them on the panel, I think. All like activists or doctors or psychologists, whatever the case may be. The panel was here to talk about the effects of gender dysphoria on children and, the mental health and opinions of some of the treatments and solutions for gender dysphoria or transgenderism. And one of the women that was up there made an interesting point about something called affirmative care. It basically says, follow the lead of the children. You cannot question the children's gender identity. Basically, it's saying that child is secure in their gender identity. If they're a boy and they're saying, yes, I know I'm a girl, I want to be a girl, it is not your job to question them. And this is from the effect of conversion therapy laws, because they don't want to, they're trying to prevent therapists from, forcefully trying to change children. Keep therapists and parents, away from forcefully trying to change their kids, which is understandably so. Now, the problem with this is, this will lead many children to go down the path of gender dysphoria, because it's basically making therapists and psychiatrists have to agree with the child. It's like, if they're saying they are adamant about it, they have to go with it. You know what? That made me think of going back to that little boy I was talking about who transitioned to a girl, and then he ended up saying he wanted to be a boy, and now he has to transition back. He wants to transition back to a boy. That same little boy, the way he got on hormones was because he pressured his mom into doing it. Now, when he was about, I think he got started getting on hormones when he was like 10 or 12. I forgot. Now I don't really remember like that. But he got on hormones before the legal age of actually being able to get hormones. His mom was giving him her own pills to give to him, her own estrogen pills to give to him. But he was able to pressure his mama to give him the pills, because he told her that if he didn't get the pills, he would kill himself. And see, right there, that should have been a red flag. Why would you kill yourself over something like, I'm saying? Like, the fact that he wants to kill him, the fact that he threatened to kill himself over something like that shouldn't tell you that he's adamant about being this. That should have told her that it was seriously something wrong with this little boy if he's willing to literally die over trying to be something he literally cannot be. You know what I'm saying? Which he doesn't even understand yet. That gets me into giving kids permanent solutions for temporary problems. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, gender dysphoria, most of these kids are going to grow out of this shit, okay? Most of the kids are going to fucking grow out of it. Children are very focused on the now. Children don't think about the future. Children don't think about their future needs, what they might need later on, or what might happen, the consequences of their actions right now. They are very in the now people, in the right now. Like, what's going on right now? Let's do it right now. It's a huge thing you need to think about before just giving your kids or allowing your kids to start fucking puberty blockers and shit like that. As a matter of fact, the World Professional Association for Transgenders health. Jesus, that shit is a mouthful. Even with these people who are literally telling you that it is okay for you to give your kids puberty blockers, they're even telling you, look, before you do that, before you decide to give them puberty blockers, you should probably get them evaluated first. Nowhere in here says just openly accept what your child wants or just give them what they want. Nowhere in the hair doesn't say that. Even though this isn't even necessarily for a parent's perspective, though. This is for the doctor's perspective, from like the psychiatrist's perspective. But even from them, it's not telling them, look, just don't feed into you shouldn't just feed into what the kids are saying. You should question them. You should evaluate them. You should assess them and dig into their psyche to see if this is something that would be the best option for them. And honestly, I wouldn't just blindly trust the medication anyways, because this shit hasn't been around long enough. There is no extensive amount of research on this shit to get for your children, because this idea hasn't even been around long enough. These experiments, children becoming other sexes, switching sexes and shit, this has not been around for a long time. So there's not a whole lot of, you know what I'm saying, proof in the pudding that says this is a guaranteed way that will work, that will make your child better. You know what I'm saying? There's no way of really telling. So you just jumping into something that not even the people are providing you it for are really even sure of is not a good idea. You shouldn't just feed your child any type of poison they say might help your child. You know what I'm saying? When they don't even have enough research to back that up. So like I said, because there's not a lot of research done, you should be even more careful about it, because that means they don't know all the side effects. I mean, just some of the side effects I seen from them was like undeveloping bones, infertility. There's been links to cancer, psychiatric conditions like anxiety and depression that affect your sexual functioning. Like, it can do a lot. You know what I'm saying? Your reproductive organs, like a lot. You know what I'm saying? It can affect your body in a lot of ways, in a lot more ways that we don't know, whether that's good or bad. You know what I'm saying? So that's not something you should just push on your kids as like an experiment. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't just want to try some shit on your kids that we don't even really know what the results might be, especially if they don't even really have gender dysphoria or transgenderism, or they're not transgender. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Have you ever been through transgenderism or gender dysphoria? Do you know someone who's going through it? How do you feel about this? But other than that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on my notifications bell, get it, join the thumbs up, share this motherfucker, all that shit. Other than that, that's all I got.
Alright, funny cause it's too know that we stepping on your scene, ho. We on the scene, we do not play by our green. We fuck with the team, might find your ass in the creek. We crossing our T's, we don't never miss a beat. And we on our P's, never catch us lacking. Got niggas upset.